Hey guys, it's me, Sonia, and now we are back with the third step of the stairwell to intentional living. I'm so excited. Uh, 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 uh. Let's go, let's go. So, we have been talking about how We've been talking about how to make plans that God can establish and how we can do that through the stairwell of intentional living. So let me get into this, okay? I love this quote, and I found it. I don't know who this man is, but it was a great quote. His name is Mark V. Hurd. I should look him up. I'll look him up at some point and tell you who he is. But what he says is that without execution, vision is just another word for hallucination. And that's why we're here today, guys. We want to actually execute the dreams that we have been acknowledging and the place where we are by living by principle, right? Because without execution, our dreams are just another word for hallucination, all right? And we want to get out of hallucinations. So, how in the world do we do this? We actually begin to close the gap with goals. Yes, this is where goals come in. This is where we figure out how to put those things that we talked about in last week's video about closing the gap into something that we can actually execute and make happen. Okay? So, I want to revisit this proverb verse. And again, Proverbs 16:9, it says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." This is where we actually go in there and start making real plans, okay? Now, we've established our location and we established our destination. We started to kind of play around with the route, but today is the day that we're going to get on actually putting together that route. So, goals literally are established plans and small steps towards our destination. A goal shouldn't be the end all be all, but it's literally a stepping stool to the destination from our location. Okay? So, here's two things that I want you to do. I want you to identify a few things you want to focus on. Now, if you've been walking along with me, you're building out this dream activation plan or life plan, and you've already established your acknowledgement, your dreams, the things that you desire. You've established where you are. This is where you are right now. This is how things are happening. And you started to write down some things that will help you close the gap. Well, this is where you take some of those things and you decide to make goals out of them. Now, at the top of the year, I recommend making at least 10 of these things that you wrote down actual goals. Not at least, at most. At most 10 things. Because sometimes we'll start laying out 30 different things and then we get overwhelmed. We don't actually write real goals and we just throw it all away, right? No. At most, pick 10 things to establish as goals. To be quite honest, I feel like sometimes 10 is too much. Honestly, because even as I've done things, I haven't hit all 10 goals that I've established that I wanted to do. And actually, I was looking through, I do this every year, right? So I was looking through my goals and y'all, I only hit 4.5 of, I think I did 8 goals this past year. And I realized in that is that one, some of these goals were a little big. And then two, I actually ended up hitting other things that I didn't expect to hit, but did take up my time, right? And that's the beauty of a life plan. You have goals, you're working towards them, but your life is intentional. So even if you've laid out a goal at the beginning of the year and you find an opportunity that still aligns with your plan, it still aligns with your desires, then go after it. Maybe that goal that you laid out at the first of the year doesn't really coincide with how your life is right now. It's okay because it is within your values. It's within the desires of your heart. It's within the things that you said that you value. Okay? That is the power of a life plan. Oh my gosh. I get so excited. So, identify a few things that you want to focus on. Now, the reason why I say 10 again, or at most 10, is because one, your goals should actually be kind of scary, a little bit risky. They should be kind of hard. And honestly, we can't do all that. Typically, I would say that you should spread out your goals across the year, and typically 2 to 3 goals for every 3 month period is ideal. So it ends up being no more than really 10, honestly. Okay? So identify. The next thing is write out a goal that will win. Now, I got to give credit where credit is due. I learned this years ago from an awesome productivity guru, and his name is Michael Hyatt. I actually love him. I have his planners. I don't have the planner here with me, but I use his planners because they're amazing. But one thing that he talked about is that he has a setup for goals that goes beyond SMART. He calls them smarter goals, and I love it. Let me break it down for you. Smarter goals are specific. They're very specific. Like, it's like very detailed on what you want to do. They are measurable. So you won because you have something that you're going towards. They are actionable. They are something to do, right? Not I want to be a better friend, but I am going to be a better friend by calling my friends 3 times a week. That's a lot. I hope that's not but you see what I mean. Then they gotta be risky. They gotta scare you just a little bit, right? Like, you do it and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know. Then they're time bound. You gotta have a beginning and an end. You gotta have a beginning and an end, because if you don't have an end, you're just gonna wait until October, and then you're gonna be like, crap, I forgot that I wanted to do XYZ. And then you're gonna try to do it, and then you're gonna fail, and you're gonna feel horrible. No, you make them time bound. And if you remember, I said the ideal is to spread them across the year and do about 2 to 3 in every 3 month or quarterly period. There's a science. There's a science. And then they have to be exciting. They actually got to excite you. Like, there are things that you got to do in life. There are things that you got to hit in life that may not be fun, but they're just things that you got to do. Don't make that your goal. That is something that you need to get done. You're going to put it in your planner. You're going to put it in your timeline, but that is not a goal for you. Your goal has to excite you. Excite you about the completion, not about the actual duration. So for instance, like working out, you want to lose weight. For most people, working out is not fun when it starts out, right? So, but you're excited about the finish. You're excited about the accomplishment, right? That's what I mean. And then finally, relevant. This is kind of like the last little, check to make sure that this goal is actually something that makes sense for your life. Like, for instance, you may want to get out of 50K in debt. You may want to buy a new car and then also do something else with finances. But your shovel is not that big, if you get what I mean. Clearly, all of those goals cannot be relevant for you in this time period. Maybe you need to just be like, all right, I'm just going to pay off this debt. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I mean by being relevant. Okay? Those are the 2 things I just need you to do when it comes to this third step, execution. Okay? Now, let me give you a couple of bonus tips. All right? 1, establish a why. Establish the main reason why you even want to do this, why you want to embark on this, because that why is going to help you push past the hard. It's going to help you push past what you have been desiring to do. Also, write it in the present tense. I am 30 pounds lighter. I am X weight. And then, put all the details in there. The reason why you do that is because your brain can't tell time, really, right? So whether you say I am or I'm going to be, when you say I am, it kind of tricks your brain because it makes you think, well, I'm already here, so I got to be doing the things that I need to do to be here because this is who I am already, right? It tricks you into getting into the moment of what you are and what you want to be. Also, again, spread them out across the year. Don't have everything due in November. Have some things due in the first quarter. Have some things due in the third quarter. Spread it out so that you can spread out your focus, because we can't be focused on 10 things all the time. And then, again, I like to say 2 to 3 per quarter. All right? So, This one was a quick one, but I mean, I got much to say. It's real simple. Execute by goal setting. Execute by identifying those small incremental steps that you can take to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Now, we've talked about acknowledgement. We've talked about living. We've talked about execution this week. Well, next week, we're going to get to the last part. We're going to get to the part where we get to win. All right? I am excited about winning. Let's get to it. Now, if this was something that was good for you, you loved it, it was helpful for you, share this thing. Give it, let somebody else learn from these videos. And then also subscribe. Subscribe so you can get a little bit more of this stuff, okay? Because I'm here every Thursday. I'm here every Thursday. All right? Okay. So see you next week when we talk about winning.